The palm of his hand cracks against my cheek. Sharp, hot, fast. My head snaps to the side. I taste copper. Blood pools in my mouth where my teeth cut the inside of my cheek. I stand there, frozen, one hand rising slowly to touch my burning face. The kitchen spins. Smoke from Sloane's cigarette curls between us like a ghost. My son just hit me. Deacon. My boy. The child I raised alone in a cramped apartment in Columbus. The boy I worked double shifts for while his father drank himself into an early grave. The boy whose college tuition I paid with money saved in coffee cans hidden in my closet. That boy just struck his own mother across the face. Maybe now you'll learn to keep quiet, he says. His voice is flat. Cold. Like I'm nothing. Like I'm trash he found on his kitchen floor. Hi viewers. Kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is. I can't speak. Can't move. My lungs burn. My chest tightens. I'd only asked one thing. Because the doctor said my lungs are dying. Because emphysema doesn't care that it's her house, her rules, her expensive cigarettes that cost more than my disability check. Sloane laughs. Not a big laugh, just a quiet, satisfied sound. A smirk curls her lips as she takes another drag. Her yoga pants probably cost what I used to make in a week at the factory. Her ponytail sits perfect on her head. Not a hair out of place, not a care in the world. Deacon turns away from me, walks to her, kisses her forehead like nothing happened, like he didn't just slap his 73-year-old mother hard enough to make her bleed. Dinner out tonight? He asks. Perfect, Sloane purrs. She stubs out her cigarette on a plate. A plate I washed this morning. My hands still smell like dish soap. They leave 15 minutes later. Deacon's arm wraps around Sloane's waist. Her laughter floats back through the open door. I hear their car start. The engine purrs. They drive away in their Mercedes, the one that cost more than I earned in 5 years. The house goes silent except for my breathing. Ragged. Painful. Each inhale feels like swallowing broken glass. I walk to the guest room. No. Not my room. Their guest room. The one decorated in whites and greys. Cold. Sterile. Like a hospital waiting room where people go to die. I sit on the edge of the bed. The mattress is too soft. Too expensive. I've never been comfortable here. Not in 6 months. My phone sits on the nightstand. Next to the photograph. Deacon at his high school graduation. His smile so proud. My arm around his shoulders. That was real, wasn't it? That love existed once, didn't it? My hand shakes as I pick up the phone. My cheek throbs. I can feel it swelling. Tomorrow there will be a bruise, a handprint. Evidence. I scroll through my contacts. Names I haven't called in years. People who owe me favors. People who remember when I was strong, when I had power, when I wasn't invisible. My finger hovers over the first name, Marcus Chen. I helped him 20 years ago when his wife left, when he was drowning, when he needed someone to believe in him. Now he's one of the top elder abuse attorneys in Ohio. I press call. He answers on the second ring. Loretta? Is that you? My voice comes out broken. Weak. Marcus. I need help. What happened? I tell him. Not everything. Just enough. The slap. The smoking. The 6 months of humiliation. The money they've taken from me. $400 a month in household expenses. When my disability check is only $1,100. Marcus's voice goes hard. Steel cold. Don't move anything. Don't change anything. We're building a case. I make 2 more calls. Rhonda Washington, childhood friend, investigative journalist, now. She owes me for the year I took care of her dying mother while she finished college. Then Vincent Torres. Deacon's old college roommate. The boy I practically raised alongside my own son. The one who still calls me Mama Loretta. He became a forensic accountant. Specializes in financial abuse cases. By the time I hang up the third call, I hear their car pulling into the driveway. Sloane's laughter echoes through the garage. Deacon's voice rumbles. They're happy. relaxed, full of wine and good food. I look at my reflection in the mirror above the dresser. The handprint on my cheek glows red, angry, clear. I smile. Let them laugh tonight. Let them think I'm weak. Let them think I'm broken. Tomorrow, everything changes. I was 17 when I met Deacon's father, Jimmy Patterson, handsome in that dangerous way that young girls mistake for excitement. He worked construction, drank beer with his buddies after every shift, promised me the world with a smile that made my knees weak. I got pregnant 3 months after we married. Jimmy celebrated by getting drunk. Again. Deacon was born on a Tuesday in March. 7 pounds, 4 ounces. Perfect. Screaming. Alive. Jimmy showed up to the hospital 6 hours late, smelling like whiskey and excuses. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment on the east side of Columbus. The walls were thin. The neighbors fought every night. Sirens wailed past our windows. But it was home. It was ours. I got a job at Morrison Textile Factory when Deacon turned 6 months old. Second shift. Jimmy promised he'd watch the baby. Most nights I came home to find Deacon crying in his crib. Diaper full. Bottle empty. Jimmy passed out on the couch with the TV blaring. I worked 40 hours a week, sometimes 50, sometimes 60 when they offered overtime. My feet swelled in my work boots. My hands cracked and bled from the chemicals. My lungs filled with cotton fibers and second-hand smoke from 300 workers lighting up during breaks. But I had a coffee can hidden in the back of my closet, behind my winter coats. Behind the boxes of Deacon's baby clothes I couldn't throw away. Every paycheck, I'd put $20 in that can, sometimes 10 if money was tight, sometimes 5 if Jimmy's drinking got worse. Deacon's first day of kindergarten, I packed his lunch with the good sandwich meat. Turkey. Not bologna. Not the cheap stuff that tasted like rubber. Real turkey from the deli counter. I ate ramen noodles for lunch that week. 49 cents a package. Jimmy died when Deacon was 12. Liver failure. The doctor said it was impressive he lasted that long. I didn't cry at the funeral. Neither did Deacon. We just stood there in our borrowed black clothes, watching them lower a man we barely knew into the ground. Life got easier after that. Quieter. No more yelling. No more broken promises. No more lies. I picked up extra shifts, worked weekends, holidays. Any time they needed someone, I said yes. The coffee can filled faster. 1 can became 2. 2 became 3. Deacon played basketball in high school. Point guard, fast, smart, good enough to dream about college scholarships. I went to every game, sat in the bleachers with my thermos of coffee and my aching feet, cheered until my voice went hoarse. The scholarship didn't come. His grades were good but not great. His game was strong but not strong enough. I went home after his final game. Pulled out the coffee cans. Counted the money. $17,000. 17 years of sacrifice. Of skipped meals. Of worn-out shoes. Of winters without heat, because I'd rather save the money. I paid for his college. All 4 years. Tuition, books, housing, everything. Deacon graduated with a degree in finance. Got a job at a big firm in Columbus. Started wearing suits, driving a nice car, dating women with college degrees and perfect teeth. He met Sloane at a pharmaceutical conference. She sold medical devices to hospitals. Made 6 figures. Drove a BMW. Had an apartment downtown with a view. They got married 2 years later. I wore a dress from Goodwill. Sat in the 3rd row. Smiled for pictures. They bought a house in the suburbs. 3-car garage. Granite countertops. A lawn that someone else mowed. They visited me twice a year. Christmas. My birthday. Like clockwork. Like obligation. I told myself it was enough. He was busy. Important. Successful. I'd done my job. Raised him right. Gave him a future. Then came the doctor's appointment that changed everything. The cough started 6 months before I called Deacon for help. Just a small thing at first. A tickle in my throat. Then it got worse. Deeper. Wet. I'd cough until I couldn't breathe, until black spots danced in my vision. until I thought I might die right there on my apartment floor. The doctor was young, too young. She had kind eyes, though. Sad eyes. Emphysema, she said. The word hung in the air between us like smoke. Your lungs are deteriorating. The tissue is damaged beyond repair. But I never smoked, I said. My voice sounded small, confused. Secondhand smoke. Environmental exposure. You said you worked in a textile factory for 30 years. I nodded. The cotton fibers, the chemicals, the cigarette smoke from other workers. Your lungs have been under assault for decades. She talked about treatments, inhalers, breathing exercises, oxygen tanks eventually. She used words like chronic and progressive. She didn't use the word curable. The treatments were expensive. My insurance covered some. Not enough. My savings were gone. Used up. Given to Deacon for his education. For his future. I couldn't work anymore. The factory let me go. Disability checks started coming. $1,100 a month. My rent was $700. Utilities another $150. Medicine another $200. The math didn't work. The numbers didn't add up. I tried. God, I tried. I ate one meal a day. Skipped medications sometimes. Sat in the dark to save electricity. Wore sweaters in winter instead of turning on the heat. But my landlord wanted his money. The utility company didn't care about my lungs. The pharmacy wouldn't fill prescriptions without payment. I lasted 3 months. Then I called Deacon. The phone felt heavy in my hand. Shame burned in my chest, hotter than any cough. I need help, I said. Silence on the other end. Long enough that I thought he'd hung up. What kind of help? His voice was careful, guarded. I can't afford my apartment anymore. The doctor says I need treatments. I was wondering. I couldn't finish. Couldn't force the words out. You want to move in with us? Not a question. A statement. Flat. Heavy. Just temporarily. Until I figure something out. More silence. Let me talk to Sloan. He called back 3 hours later. Okay. You can stay in the guest room. Relief flooded through me. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll pay rent. I'll help around the house. I won't be any trouble. We'll talk about the details when you get here. He hung up before I could say I love you. I moved in on a Saturday in May. Everything I owned fit in 2 suitcases and 3 cardboard boxes. Deacon didn't help me pack. Didn't come to my apartment. Just gave me the address and said to be there by noon. The house was beautiful. Magazine beautiful. The kind of house I used to walk past and dream about when Deacon was little. White siding, black shutters, a front porch with rocking chairs that looked like they'd never been sat in. Sloan answered the door. She wore white jeans and a silk blouse. Her makeup was perfect. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Loretta. Come in. She stepped aside. Didn't offer to help with my suitcases. The inside was even more impressive. Hardwood floors, high ceilings, everything white and grey and spotless. Like a museum. Like a place where people didn't actually live. The guest room is upstairs, second door on the right. Sloan gestured toward the staircase. Deacon's at the office. He'll be home around 6. I dragged my suitcases up the stairs. My lungs burned. My legs trembled. I had to stop twice to catch my breath. The guest room was decorated in whites and greys. A queen bed with too many pillows. A dresser. A nightstand. A single window that looked out over the backyard. Everything matched. Everything coordinated. Nothing felt warm. I unpacked my suitcases. My clothes looked shabby in the expensive dresser. Worn. Faded. Poor. Sloan appeared in the doorway. She leaned against the frame. Arms crossed. We need to go over some house rules, she said. I turned to face her. Of course. The main bathroom downstairs is ours. You can use the half bath by the laundry room. Don't come downstairs before 9 on weekends. We like our privacy. Don't touch the thermostat. And we'll need $400 a month for household expenses. $400. More than a third of my disability check. That seems like a lot. I said carefully. Her smile went sharp. You're using our water, our electricity, our space. 400 is more than fair. What could I say? I had nowhere else to go. Okay, great. First payment is due Monday. She pushed off the doorframe. Oh, and try to keep your medical equipment in your room. The nebulizer and stuff. It's depressing to look at. She walked away. Her footsteps echoed down the hallway. I sat on the edge of the bed. The photograph of Deacon at graduation sat on the nightstand. I'd placed it there first thing. Before my clothes, before my medications. That boy in the picture looked so happy, so proud, so loved. I didn't recognize him anymore. The first month in their house, I tried to make myself useful. I cooked dinner 3 nights a week, cleaned the bathrooms, did laundry, vacuumed the spotless floors. Sloane complained about everything. The food was too salty, too bland, too ethnic. I used the wrong cleaning products, left streaks on the mirrors, folded the towels wrong. I started doing less. Staying in my room more, making myself invisible. Deacon came home every night at 6:30. He'd kiss Sloane, pour bourbon, disappear into his office. Sometimes I'd try to talk to him, tell him about my day, about the book I was reading, about the cardinals I watched from my window. That's nice, Mum, he'd say. His eyes never left his phone. His voice carried no interest, no warmth, no love. I stopped trying. Sloane got worse. She'd wrinkle her nose when I entered a room. Make comments about old people's smells, about feeling cramped in her own house, about how they never used to have to worry about someone overhearing their private conversations. I started showering twice a day, 3 times some days, washing my clothes constantly, using so much soap my hands cracked and bled. My water bill, which I paid them for, went up. Sloane complained about that too. They went out often, fancy restaurants, wine tastings, weekend trips to Chicago, New York, Miami. I stayed home, ate microwave dinners alone in my room, tried not to exist too loudly. I had physical therapy appointments twice a week, exercises to keep my lungs working, to keep me mobile, to keep me alive a little longer. The first time I asked Deacon for a ride, he sighed. Long and heavy, like I'd asked him to donate a kidney. I have meetings all day, Mom. It's just 20 minutes there and back. The appointment is at 2. Fine, but you need to be ready at 1:30 exactly. I can't be late. He drove me in silence. The radio played soft jazz. His jaw was tight. His hands gripped the steering wheel like he was angry at it. At the physical therapy office, he stayed in the car, kept the engine running. When I came out 45 minutes later, sweating and exhausted, he didn't ask how it went. The next appointment, he texted at the last minute. Can't make it. Take an Uber. I didn't have money for an Uber. I'd already given them $400 that month, plus another $50 for groceries I'd bought, plus my portion of the water bill, Sloane said, was too high. I took the bus instead. It came late. I stood at the stop for 20 minutes. My chest ached. My legs trembled. When the bus finally arrived, all the seats were full. I stood for 40 minutes, holding a pole, trying to breathe, trying not to cough, trying not to pass out. The therapy session was hard, harder than usual. My muscles wouldn't cooperate. My lungs wouldn't expand. The therapist kept asking if I was okay. I lied and said yes. The bus ride home was worse. Rush hour, packed, hot. Someone's cologne made my throat close up. I coughed until I tasted blood. By the time I got back to the house, it was 6 o'clock. I could barely walk. My hands shook as I unlocked the door. My inhaler was upstairs in my room. I needed it. Needed air. Needed to breathe. I made it to the kitchen. Leaned against the counter. Fumbled with my inhaler. 2 puffs. Wait. 2 more. My chest loosened. Slowly. So slowly. That's when Sloane walked in. She wore yoga pants. A designer tank top. Her hair in a perfect ponytail. She looked fresh, rested, Beautiful. She went straight to the cabinet, pulled out a pack of cigarettes, lit one right there in the kitchen. The smoke hit me like a fist to the chest. My throat closed. I started coughing. Deep, wet, painful. The kind that makes your ribs feel like they're breaking, like they're being pulled apart by invisible hands. Sloane. My voice came out as a whisper. A plea. Could you please not smoke in here? My lungs. She took another drag, blew smoke in my direction. The cloud drifted toward me, wrapped around my face. It's my house, Loretta. I'll smoke where I want. My chest was on fire. I couldn't get air. Each attempt to breathe felt like drowning, like being held underwater. Please, I begged. Hated myself for begging. I can't breathe. Then go to your room. She flicked ash into the sink. My clean sink, the one I'd scrubbed that morning. I stood up. I held onto the counter with both hands. Just for a minute. Please, I need. The front door opened. Deacon walked in. Loosening his tie, his briefcase in one hand, he took in the scene. Me, hunched over the counter. Sloane with her cigarette. Smoke hanging in the air like a curse. What's going on? His voice was tired. Annoyed, Sloane gestured at me with her cigarette. Like I was the problem. Like I was the one being unreasonable. Your mother is complaining again. A cough. Cut me off. Deep and rattling. I just asked if she could smoke outside because my lungs... Shut up. The words cracked through the kitchen like a gunshot. I froze. Deacon had never spoken to me like that. Never. Not even as a teenager. Not even when his father died and everything fell apart. He crossed the space between us in 3 strides. His face was red, twisted, ugly with rage. You stink worse than smoke. Every day it's something with you. You're always sick, always needing something, always making problems. Deacon. His palm connected with my cheek before I could finish. Sharp. Fast. Hard. Pain exploded across my face. My head snapped to the side. My vision went white, then black, then white again. I tasted copper. Blood. My teeth had cut the inside of my cheek. The taste filled my mouth. Warm, metallic, real. I stood there. Frozen. One hand rising slowly to touch my face. The skin burned, throbbed. I could feel it swelling already. Sloane laughed. That quiet, satisfied sound. A smirk curled her lips. She took another drag of her cigarette. Watched me like I was entertainment. Like this was the best part of her day. Maybe now you'll learn to keep quiet, Deacon said. His voice was cold. Flat. Empty of anything that looked like love. Like regret. Like humanity. He turned away from me. Walked to Sloane. Kissed her forehead. Gentle. Tender. Everything. He just refused to give his own mother. Dinner out tonight? He asked her. Perfect. Sloane purred. She stubbed out her cigarette. On a plate. The white ceramic plate with the blue flowers. The one I'd washed that morning. The one I'd dried carefully and put away in the cabinet. They left 15 minutes later. I stood in the kitchen, my hand still pressed to my burning cheek, watching them go. Watching Deacon's arm wrap around Sloane's waist. Watching them laugh together. Watching them drive away in their expensive car with their expensive lives and their expensive everything. The house went silent. Just my breathing. Ragged. Painful. Broken. I walked to my room. Sat on the edge of the bed. The photograph of Deacon stared at me from the nightstand. His graduation smile. My arm around his shoulders. That moment had been real. That love had existed. But it was dead now. Dead as his father. Dead as my lungs. Dead as whatever part of me had believed family was everything. My phone sat on the nightstand. I picked it up. My hands shook. My cheek throbbed. But my mind was clear. Clearer than it had been in 6 months. I scrolled through my contacts. Found the first name. Pressed call. Marcus Chen answered on the second ring. Loretta. Marcus, I need help. The guest room is dark when I finish the third phone call. My cheek has stopped throbbing. Now it just aches. A dull, steady pain that matches my heartbeat. I hear their car pull into the driveway. The garage door rumbles open. Sloane's laughter echoes, high and bright. Deacon's voice rumbles underneath. They're happy, relaxed, full of wine and whatever expensive food they ate while I sat here bleeding in their house. I don't move from the bed. Their footsteps sound on the stairs. They pass my room. Sloane says something I can't hear. Deacon laughs. Their bedroom door closes. I wait. 20 minutes later, I hear water running. Their shower. Then silence. I pick up my phone again. Open my photos. Scroll back through 6 months of documentation I'd been collecting, without really knowing why. Photos of the guest room. The cracks in the ceiling. The window that doesn't lock. The bathroom I'm allowed to use so small I can barely turn around. The mold growing in the corner because the ventilation doesn't work. Photos of receipts. The $400 I pay them every month for household expenses. The $50 water bill charge. The $75 for groceries they said I ate. The $100 for electricity they claimed I used. Photos of my medications. The ones I'm supposed to take daily. The ones I started skipping because I couldn't afford the refills. Photos of my bank statements. $1,100 in. $800 out. Just to live in their guest room. To exist in their house. To breathe their air. I'd been documenting everything. Every payment. Every humiliation. Every time Sloane wrinkled her nose, or Deacon looked through me like I was invisible. I didn't know I was building a case. I thought I was just keeping track, just trying to make sense of how my life had become this. But now the photos look different. They look like evidence. Marcus had said not to move anything, not to change anything, to let them think everything was normal. So I get ready for bed like always. Brush my teeth in the tiny bathroom. Take my evening medications, the ones I can still afford. Change into my nightgown. I lie in bed, stare at the ceiling, count the cracks. 27. I've counted them so many times I know each one by memory. My phone buzzes. A text from Marcus. Met with my partner. We're taking the case. Don't engage with them. Don't mention anything. Act normal. We'll be there tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. sharp. I type back. Thank you. Another buzz. Rhonda this time. I'm bringing a photographer. We need documentation. Visual evidence. Also contacted Adult Protective Services. They're sending an investigator. This is big, Loretta. Really big. Then Vincent. Mama Loretta. I pulled Deacon's financials. You won't believe what I found. That boy has been lying to you about everything. Everything. See you tomorrow. I set my phone down. Turn off the lamp. Lie in the darkness. Tomorrow. Everything changes. Tomorrow. But tonight, I'm still just an old woman in a cold room, with a handprint on her cheek, and a son who stopped loving her so long ago she can't remember when it happened. My chest tightens, not from the emphysema, from something else. Something that feels like grief, like rage, like both at once. I close my eyes, but I don't sleep. I count the hours until morning. Until Marcus Chen arrives with his briefcase and his law degree and his memory of the woman who believed in him when no one else would. Until Rhonda Washington shows up with her camera and her reporter's notebook and her debt to the woman who held her mother's hand while she died. Until Vincent Torres walks through that door and sees what Deacon has become. What he's done to the woman who raised them both. I count the hours, and I wait. Morning comes slowly. Grey light creeps through the window. I've been awake all night, watching the ceiling, counting cracks, listening to my lungs work. At 7, I hear movement in their bedroom. The shower runs. Deacon's electric toothbrush hums. Normal morning sounds. Like yesterday didn't happen, like he didn't strike his mother in their kitchen. I get up. My body aches. My cheek is swollen. When I look in the mirror, The handprint is still there, purple now. Angry. Clear. The shape of his fingers visible on my skin. I take a photo. Add it to my collection. Then I shower. Dress in clean clothes. Put on the cardigan Deacon bought me for Christmas 3 years ago. Back when he still pretended to care, at 8, I go downstairs. They're in the kitchen. Deacon drinks coffee and scrolls through his phone. Sloane eats yogurt and reads something on her tablet. They don't look up when I enter. Good morning, I say. My voice sounds normal. Steady. Morning. Deacon mutters. Doesn't look up. Sloane says nothing. I pour myself coffee. My hands don't shake. I've had all night to prepare for this moment. To practice being calm. Being normal. I sit at the kitchen table. The same table where I was standing yesterday when he hit me. I sip my coffee. Wait. At exactly 9 o'clock, the doorbell rings. Deacon looks up. Frowns. Are you expecting someone? I set down my coffee cup. Yes. Sloane's head snaps toward me. What? The doorbell rings again. I stand. Walk to the door. My legs feel strong. Stronger than they have in months. I open the door. Marcus Chen stands on the porch. Tall. Professional. Wearing a suit that probably cost more than Deacon's. He carries a leather briefcase. His expression is granite. Good morning, Loretta. His voice is gentle when he speaks to me. Then he looks past me into the house. His voice changes, goes cold, hard. Mr. Patterson, Mrs. Patterson, my name is Marcus Chen. I'm an attorney, specializing in elder abuse cases. May I come in? Deacon appears behind me. His face has gone pale. I called for help. My voice doesn't waver. What you did yesterday was assault. What you've been doing for 6 months is financial exploitation and emotional abuse. Marcus steps inside. Uninvited. Unwanted. He sets his briefcase on the entry table. Opens it. Pulls out a folder. These are preliminary documents, he says. A cease and desist. Official notice that we're filing an elder abuse investigation with the state. And restraining order paperwork, which we'll be filing this afternoon. Sloane rushes into the hallway. She's still in her yoga pants from yesterday. Her hair is messy, her makeup smudged. She looks at Marcus. At me. At Deacon. This is insane, she says. We let her live here. We've been taking care of her. Marcus pulls out another document. Slides it across the table. These are bank records showing that Mrs. Patterson has been paying you $400 per month in household expenses. From a disability check of $1,100, leaving her with $700 for all other expenses including medication, clothing, and personal needs. We have a nice house, Sloane snaps. It costs money to maintain. She should contribute. The going rate for a room rental in Columbus, Ohio, is approximately $500 per month. Marcus says. His voice never rises, never wavers. That typically includes utilities. You've been charging her $400 for the room, plus additional fees for water, electricity, and groceries. Do you have receipts showing what portion of utilities she actually used? Silence. I didn't think so. Marcus pulls out more papers. I also have photographs. Would you like to see them? He spreads photos across the table. The guest room, the bathroom, the mold, the broken window lock, my medications, receipts, then the photo from this morning, my face. The handprint, purple and swollen and undeniable. Deacon's face goes white, actually white, like all the blood has drained from his body. Mom, we can fix this, he says. His voice cracks. We can talk about this. We can. Mr. Patterson, I strongly advise you not to speak. Marcus gathers the photos, puts them back in his briefcase. Anything you say can and will be used in court. The doorbell rings again. Marcus smiles. It's not a nice smile. That would be the other members of our team. I walk to the door. Open it. Rhonda Washington stands there with a camera bag and a man I don't recognize. Behind them, a woman in a county uniform holds a clipboard. Adult Protective Services, the woman says. We received a report of potential elder abuse and neglect at this address. I'm here to conduct an investigation. Sloane makes a sound. High-pitched. Almost a scream. This is harassment. We'll sue. You'll do nothing. Marcus's voice cuts through her panic like a knife. Because if you interfere with an APS investigation, that's another criminal charge. If you try to intimidate witnesses, that's another criminal charge. If you do anything except cooperate fully, I will make sure you face the maximum penalties under Ohio law. Rhonda steps inside. She looks at me. At my face. Her expression goes soft with sympathy, then hard with anger. Hi, Loretta, she says quietly, then louder, to everyone else. I'm Rhonda Washington, investigative journalist. I'll be covering this story for the Columbus Dispatch. Anyone want to make a statement? Deacon looks like he might be sick. A story? You're writing a story about elder abuse in affluent communities, Rhonda says. About successful children who exploit their aging parents. About how money and status don't prevent cruelty. Yes, I'm writing that story. The APS investigator pulls out her clipboard. I need to conduct interviews, separately. Mrs. Patterson, can I speak with you first? I nod. She leads me to the living room. The nice living room with the white couches Sloane wouldn't let me sit on. We sit there now. Me and this woman with kind eyes and a county badge. She asks questions. How long have I been here? What are my living conditions? Do I feel safe? Have I been threatened? Hurt? Neglected? I answer honestly. All of it. 6 months of humiliation pouring out in steady, calm words. Through the doorway, I can see Deacon and Sloane in the kitchen. Marcus stands guard. Rhonda's photographer is taking pictures of the house, of everything. Another car pulls up outside. I know who it is before I see him. Vincent Torres walks through the still open front door. He's grown up since I last saw him. Tall, professional, successful. But his eyes are the same. Warm, kind, nothing like Deacon's. He sees me in the living room. His expression crumbles. Mama Loretta. His voice breaks on my name. He crosses the room in 3 strides, kneels down next to my chair, takes my hand. His thumb brushes over my swollen cheek. Gentle, careful. I'm so sorry, he whispers. I should have checked on you. I should have known. It's not your fault, baby. It is. You raised me better than that. He stands, turns toward the kitchen. His voice goes cold. Deacon. Living room. Now, Deacon walks in like a man approaching his own execution. Vincent stands between us, protective. The way Deacon should have been. The way a son should be. I pulled your financials, Vincent says. Want to tell your mother again how you can't afford to help her? How money is tight? How you're barely making ends meet? He opens his own briefcase, pulls out documents, spreads them on the coffee table. Investment portfolio. $1.3 million. The vacation house in Sedona. $450,000. Your annual income. $285,000. Sloane's income. $310,000. He looks at Deacon. Really looks at him. Like he's seeing a stranger. You have $600,000 in liquid assets. Your monthly expenses total $9,000, including the mortgage, the cars, everything. And you were charging your dying mother $400 a month to sleep in your guest room. Sloane's voice comes from the kitchen. Sharp, defensive. We have expenses. We have a lifestyle to maintain. Vincent doesn't even look at her. You spent $4,000 at restaurants last month, $3,000 on clothing, $2,000 at the spa, and you charged Mama Loretta $50 for groceries she supposedly ate. Want to see the receipts? Because I have them all. Every single transaction. The APS investigator writes everything down. Her pen scratches across the paper. Fast. Angry. Deacon sits down, puts his head in his hands. I didn't mean for it to go this far. You hit her. Vincent's voice shakes. You hit the woman who raised you, who worked herself into emphysema so you could go to college, who gave you everything she had. You hit her because she asked your wife not to smoke in the house, not to kill her a little faster with secondhand smoke. I was stressed. We were both stressed. Mom was always complaining, always needing something. Always. She needed oxygen, Deacon. Vincent's voice rises. Breaks. She needed medication. She needed basic human dignity. And you couldn't give her that. You made $600,000 last year and you couldn't give your mother dignity? Silence. The APS investigator stands. I've seen enough. Mrs. Patterson, you cannot legally remain in this home. It's unsafe. Do you have somewhere else you can go? She can stay with me, Marcus says. My wife and I have a guest house. It's empty. It's yours for as long as you need it, Loretta. I'll help move your things, Vincent adds. I'll run the story tomorrow, Rhonda says. Front page. With photos. Unless, she looks at Deacon. Unless you want to make a public statement. Take responsibility. Make restitution. Deacon looks up. His eyes are red. Everything. Marcus's voice is steel. Every penny she paid you. Plus her medical bills. Plus compensation for emotional distress. Plus a public apology. Plus a legally binding agreement that you will never contact her again unless she initiates it. And if you refuse, we file criminal charges. Assault. Financial exploitation. Elder abuse. All of it. Sloane grabs her car keys from the counter. I'm not staying for this. Marcus blocks the door. Actually, Mrs. Patterson, you are. The district attorney wants to speak with both of you. He's on his way now. Sloane's hand shakes. The keys jangle. The DA? This is a criminal matter now. You both have choices to make. I stand. My legs feel steady. Strong. The APS investigator helps me up the stairs. To the guest room. To pack my things. It doesn't take long. Everything I own fits in 2 suitcases. Same as when I arrived. But I'm not the same woman who came here 6 months ago. That woman was broken. Desperate. Grateful for scraps. This woman knows her worth. I pick up the photograph of Deacon at graduation. Stare at it for a long moment. That boy is gone. Maybe he never existed. Maybe I just loved an idea of him. A dream of who he could be. I leave the photo on the nightstand. I don't need it anymore. 3 days later, I sit in Marcus Chen's office. It's a beautiful space. Floor-to-ceiling windows, leather chairs, mahogany desk. Success looks good on him. I'm glad. He deserves it. They've agreed to settle, Marcus says. He slides a document across his desk. Full return of all household expenses, $2,400. Payment of all medical bills, past and future. Estimated at $30,000 annually. Public apology, which will be printed in the Columbus Dispatch. Permanent restraining order, they can't come within 500 feet of you. And this. He turns to another page, points to a paragraph. They have to fund scholarships. For adult children of elderly parents, $5,000 per year for the next 10 years, and mandatory elder care sensitivity training as part of their professional license renewals. I read the words. Once, twice, 3 times. The scholarships, I say slowly. That wasn't my idea. It was mine, Marcus says. But you have to approve it. It's part of the settlement terms. The money goes to help other families, to educate people, to maybe prevent this from happening to someone else. I think about other women, other mothers, other people who might end up in that cold guest room, who might count ceiling cracks in the dark, who might shrink themselves down to nothing just to exist in their child's house. Yes, I say. I approve. Marcus smiles. Good, because there's more. Sloane's pharmaceutical sales license is under review. Turns out, she's had complaints before. About her treatment of elderly clients, about pressure tactics with senior citizens. The board is investigating. And Deacon lost 3 of his biggest clients. News travels fast in Columbus. People don't want to trust their finances to someone who can't be trusted with his own mother. Marcus closes the file. He's not ruined, but he's hurt. Professionally, financially. I should feel happy, vindicated, satisfied, but I just feel tired. Do I have to see them again? I ask. No, not unless you want to. The restraining order is permanent. They signed it. If they violate it, they go to jail. Simple as that. I stand. Marcus walks me to the door. Thank you, I say. For everything. For remembering. I never forgot Loretta. 20 years ago, you saved my life. You helped me when I had nothing. When I was nothing. You believed in me. His voice gets thick. This isn't even close to repaying that debt. There's no debt between friends. He hugs me. Careful. Gentle. Like I'm precious. Maybe I am. The apartment Marcus's wife helped me find is small. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. A kitchen just big enough for a table and 2 chairs. But it's mine. The windows let in sunlight. The heat works. The bathroom has a shower with grab bars and a bath mat that doesn't slip. I can breathe here. Vincent helped me move in. Brought furniture from his storage unit. A couch. A television. Lamps. Things he'd been saving for someday. Someday is now. Mama Loretta, he said. Rhonda visits twice a week. Brings groceries. Sits with me. Tells me about her articles. About the response to Deacon's story. About other people who've reached out. Other elderly parents who are being exploited. Being hurt. Being erased. You started something, she says. By speaking up. By fighting back. You gave other people permission to do the same. I keep the photo of Deacon at graduation. Not on display, but in a drawer, because that boy existed once. That love was real once. And I need to remember that I'm not crazy, that I didn't imagine the good years, the sacrifices, the love. But I also need to remember that love isn't enough. That sometimes the people we love become strangers. That sometimes you have to let go to survive. My lungs are still dying. That hasn't changed. But now I can afford my medications. All of them. On schedule. My breathing is better. My oxygen levels are stable. The doctor says I've added years to my life. Just by leaving that house. Just by being able to breathe freely. Sometimes I think about Deacon. Wonder if he thinks about me. If he regrets what he did. If he misses me. But mostly I don't think about him at all. I think about the birds outside my window. The cardinals that come to the feeder Vincent hung for me. I think about the books I'm reading. The shows I'm watching. The friends who visit. I think about the woman in the mirror. The one with grey hair and wrinkles and a body that's breaking down. But also with clear eyes. With dignity. With worth. That woman is enough. That woman survived. That woman is me. It's been 3 weeks since the slap. 3 weeks since everything changed. I'm sitting in my apartment, drinking coffee, watching the morning news when my phone rings. Marcus, Loretta, thought you'd want to know. The pharmaceutical board made their decision about Sloan. I set down my coffee. And suspended. 6 months. She has to retake ethics training, undergo counselling. If she has one more complaint, she loses the license permanently. And Deacon? His firm asked him to resign. Technically voluntary. But not really. They gave him a severance package. He'll land somewhere else eventually. But not in Columbus. His reputation here is done. I should feel something. Victory, justice, satisfaction. But I just feel empty. Thank you for telling me, I say. Loretta. Marcus's voice goes soft. You did the right thing. What happened to you was wrong. You stopped it. You made them face consequences. That matters. I know. After we hang up, I sit with the silence. The apartment is quiet. Peaceful. Mine. The doorbell rings. I check the peephole. Vincent stands there holding a bag from the bakery down the street. I open the door. You're early. Couldn't wait. He grins, holds up the bag. Got those almond croissants you like? And coffee. The good kind. We sit at my little table. The sunlight streams through the window. Vincent tells me about his week, about the case he's working on. about his girlfriend who wants to meet me, about normal, everyday things that have nothing to do with abuse or lawyers or justice. It's nice, simple, easy. You seem different, Vincent says. Lighter. I am lighter. Physically and emotionally. I smile. Turns out, carrying resentment weighs more than carrying hope. That's very philosophical for a Thursday morning. I'm a very philosophical 73-year-old woman. He laughs. We eat our croissants, drink our coffee, talk about nothing important. This is what healing looks like. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just quiet moments. Safe spaces. People who care. Before Vincent leaves, he hugs me tight. Love you, Mama Loretta. Love you too, baby. After he goes, I sit by the window. Watch the birds. Count my blessings instead of ceiling cracks. My phone buzzes. A text from Rhonda. Check your email. The scholarship fund is official. First recipient has been chosen. A 38-year-old woman caring for her father with dementia. She's going back to school for nursing. I open the email. Read the woman's story. See her photo. She's smiling. Hopeful. Grateful. Something inside my chest loosens, expands, fills with warmth. This is why it mattered. Not revenge. Not punishment. Not even justice. Really. Connection. Purpose. Making sure my pain meant something. Made something. Changed something. I forward the email to Vincent. To Marcus. Add a note. Thank you for helping me help her. The afternoon sun slants through my window. Warm on my face. I close my eyes. Breathe deep. My lungs cooperate. Mostly. They'll never be perfect. But they work. They're enough. I'm enough. The doorbell rings again. I'm not expecting anyone. I check the peephole. Deacon. My heart stops. Then races. Then steadies. He looks different. Thinner. Older. Tired. The restraining order. He's violating the restraining order. I could call Marcus. Have him arrested. Send him to jail. I open the door. Just a crack. The chain lock still engaged. Mum. His voice breaks. Please. I just need 5 minutes. You're not supposed to be here. I know. I know. But I had to. I needed to. He stops. Swallows hard. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I say nothing. I was wrong. About everything. The way I treated you. The things I said. What I did. His hands shake. The envelope trembles. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't deserve forgiveness. But I needed you to know. I needed to say it. To your face. Not in some legal document. I look at him. Really look at him. See the boy I raised. See the man he became. See the stranger standing on my doorstep. You broke my heart, I say quietly. I know. You made me feel worthless. I know. You hit me. His face crumbles. I know. God, Mum, I know. I wake up every morning and it's the first thing I think about. The sound it made. The look on your face. I hate myself for it. I hate who I became. Good, I say. You should. He nods. Wipes his eyes with the back of his hand. Sloane left me. Moved out last week. Said I ruined her career. Her reputation. Everything. I feel nothing. Not satisfaction. Not sympathy. Nothing. The firm let me go. My clients left. My friends stopped calling. Everyone in Columbus knows what I did. What kind of person I am. He laughs. Hollow. Bitter. I finally understand. What it feels like to be invisible. To be nothing. Is that why you're here? For sympathy? No. I'm here because... He holds out the envelope. This is a check. For $50,000. It's not enough. Nothing would be enough. But it's what I have liquid right now. I want you to have it. For your medical bills. For whatever you need. Please. I don't take the envelope. I don't want your money, Deacon. Then, what do you want? I think about that question. Really think about it. What do I want from the son who broke me? Who betrayed me? Who chose a woman with perfect hair over the mother who raised him? I want you to be better. I say, finally. I want you to take that sensitivity training seriously. I want you to fund those scholarships with your whole heart. I want you to look at every elderly person you meet and remember how you treated me. And I want you to do better. Be better. For them. For yourself. For the memory of the boy you used to be. Tears streamed down his face. I will. I promise. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make this right. You can't make it right. You can only move forward. And you can only do that without me. He flinches. Like I've struck him. Like my words hurt more than his hand ever hurt me. I know, he whispers. I know I lost you. I know I don't get another chance. I just needed to say I'm sorry. That you deserved better. That you deserve better. I know I do. That's why I left. He sets the envelope on the ground outside my door. If you change your mind, about the money, about anything, I'm here. I'll always be here. If you need me, I don't need him. Not anymore. He turns to leave, stops, looks back at me one last time. I love you, Mum. I know I have a terrible way of showing it. I know I destroyed everything. But I love you. I always have. I believe you. I say. But love isn't enough. Love without respect is nothing. Love without care is abuse, and I won't accept that anymore. From you or anyone else. He nods, walks away, gets in his car, drives off. I close the door, lock it, slide the chain back in place. The envelope sits on my doorstep. I leave it there. When Vincent visits tomorrow, I'll have him give it back, or donate it, or burn it. I don't care. I don't need Deacon's money. I don't need Deacon's apology. I don't need Deacon. I have myself. I have friends who chose me. I have dignity. I have worth. I have enough. If you've ever felt invisible in your own family, if you've ever been made to feel small by someone you sacrificed everything for, if you've ever questioned your worth because